San Diego is a beautiful coastal city located in Southern California. Known for its world-class attractions, particularly its zoo, the city attracts tens of millions of visitors each year. Today I'm showing you the top 7 things to do in San Diego, California. Stop number 1 brings us to Gaslamp Quarter. Gaslamp Quarter is known as the historic heart of San Diego. It's famous for its neon sign, and it's a lively neighborhood filled with tons of restaurants and shopping. It's also mainly car-free, meaning pedestrians can walk around wherever they like. It's a great place to start your San Diego visit, and I recommend you come during the day and night. Now let's head to stop number 2. Stop number 2 is a walk along the Embarcadero. Walking along the Embarcadero is another great way to see San Diego, as you get fantastic views out over the bay and of Coronado Island. Whether you're coming here for a quick stroll or going on a run, it's a great way to start your morning in downtown. Now let's head to stop number 3. Stop number 3 brings us to the Unconditional Surrender Statue and the USS Midway. Welcome to the Unconditional Surrender Statue. There you can see it behind me. It's a 25-foot statue that depicts a sailor and a nurse kissing after the end of World War II, and now it's a really famous place in San Diego, and lots of people come to see the statue. Now we're gonna head up into the ship. The USS Midway is a very famous and historic aircraft carrier. It was the longest-serving aircraft carrier of the 20th century, operating from 1945 until its retirement in 1992. Once you're inside, you'll be given an audio device with a set of headphones which allows you to listen to the different exhibits as you pass by. I recommend you start on the top deck with many aircraft on display for you to see. One of the coolest things about them is that you are able to go inside most of them, so it gives you a first-hand look on what it would have been like being in these aircraft back in the 20th century when they were flying. Here I am in an SH-3 Sea King helicopter, and this is the cockpit. They do have it blocked off with this little partition, but it's still really cool to be able to look in there and just imagine being a pilot flying this. One of the things you notice in this video is how many decorations are set up. This video was filmed around the holidays, so they had the entire ship decorated for Christmas. Once you're done exploring the top deck, I recommend you head to the end of it. This is where you'll get fantastic views over the San Diego Bay, Coronado Bridge, and Coronado Island. Now we're gonna head up into the island structure. The tour of the island structure takes around 30 minutes. It's a great tour that gives you a very cool insight of what it would have been like piloting this ship through the Pacific Ocean. The tour itself is completely free of charge, so you don't have to pay any additional cost. But lines for the tour can be very long, so be prepared to wait quite a bit before you get to go up into the island structure. Once you are finished exploring the top and main decks, I recommend that you head down to the lower deck. Here you'll find many different facilities, such as the kitchen, the small church, and the many rooms designated for the captain and the higher ranking officials that would have been on the ship. Now let's talk about ticket pricing to go on the Midway. If you book online, it's $39 for adults ages 13 and up. For youth 4 to 12, it's $26, and for veterans with a valid ID, it's also $26. The USS Midway is a fantastic place to visit in San Diego, and one that you have to make a stop at least once. Now let's head off to stop number 4. Stop number 4 is the world-famous San Diego Zoo. This zoo is one of the largest in the entire world, with more than 4,000 animals and over 600 different species. Once you enter inside, you are greeted by these beautiful pink flamingos. The first thing I recommend you do is go on the bus tour. The bus tour is located right next to the entrance of the zoo, and it's a great way to be taken around. The bus tour takes around 45 minutes, and on the tour, you get to see all of the main animals at the zoo. The nice thing about it is that it's free for any visitor, so no matter what ticket you have for the zoo, you are able to ride on the bus. Your bus driver narrates the entire tour, and you get to learn so many fun facts, such as, did you know this California condor has a wingspan of over 9 feet? So it's absolutely worth it. Make sure to start with the bus tour when you begin exploring. The next thing I recommend you do is take a ride on the Skyfari Gondola. It's an amusement park themed ride taking you across the zoo in just 4 minutes. It's also completely available to any visitor, but the line to ride it can be quite long, so do be prepared to wait quite a bit. Once you're up in the gondola, you'll get great views over Balboa Park, the zoo itself, and downtown San Diego. It's a great alternative than having to walk across the park, as he takes you between the two sides very quickly. You also get unique perspectives like this, as we can see this United 737 landing at the airport passing downtown San Diego. Once you are on the other side of the zoo, you'll get to see so many more cool animals. Here, you'll get to see the zebras and animals that you could not see from the bus tour, such as the multiple leopards from Asia. This part of the zoo is also home to the famous Rady Falls. It's a 65-foot tall man-made waterfall in the Africa Rocks exhibit, and it's a very picturesque spot in the zoo. You can get to see different species of monkeys, and you can see that California condor up close again. You can also see the elephants up close again. This part of the zoo is also home to Basher Bridge. Basher Bridge is a 450-foot long bridge taking you across the canyon. This bridge is really high and it gives you a bird's eye view over the Asian Passage exhibit. This is another great alternative for getting across the zoo if you don't want to take the cable car. Now for the main attraction here, the giant pandas. The giant pandas' names are Yunchuan and Jin Bao. They made their debut at the zoo in August of 2024. The San Diego Zoo is currently one of 2 zoos in the US with giant pandas, the other being the Smithsonian Zoological Park in Washington, D.C. It's really cool to see these guys up close, as you don't get to see them every day here in the United States. This exhibit is the most popular one in the zoo, meaning you have to reserve free timed entry passes when you're entering the zoo. Look out for the signs with QR codes on them saying "Wanna see the pandas." Also, if you want a bird's eye view, go up on Basher Bridge. There's Yunchuan eating some bamboo from above. So as you can see, the San Diego Zoo is absolutely worth visiting. In terms of ticket prices, for adults ages 12 and up, it's $76, and for children 3 to 11, it's $72. So while the ticket prices are a little higher, it's absolutely worth visiting. Now let's head off to stop number 5. Stop number 5 brings us to the San Diego Air and Space Museum. This is a fun aviation and space museum filled with plenty of replica aircraft, spacecraft, and the original Apollo 9 command module. It's so cool to see this piece of history up close and get a glimpse inside of what it would be like riding in that capsule. But by far, my favorite thing at the museum is this.
So at the museum, they have something pretty cool. This is an actual live feed of flights right now, and you can see we have a Southwest flight coming in. We have a Delta flight that just took off, and the reason why they have this is because the museum is right in the path of the San Diego International Airport, and over here they have aircraft codes, airport codes, and airline codes. And they even have live ATC at the airport. And out here, when the airplanes are coming into land, they come over there and they go that way, and they go just over that hill, and the runway is just right there, so they pass over really low.
Only a short few minutes later, that Southwest 737 appears, making its final approach for runway 27 at San Diego International. Only 10 minutes later, an even cooler aircraft appears, this British Airways A350-1000 coming in from London's Heathrow Airport after a 10-hour journey of flying. And there you have the San Diego Air and Space Museum. It's a fantastic museum option in Balboa Park. For adults ages 12 and up, it costs $28, and for children ages 3 to 11, it's $23. So it's absolutely worth visiting. On to the next one. Stop number 6 brings us to Old Town. Old Town is a historic park located north of downtown San Diego. It's famous for being the first Spanish settlement in present-day California back in 1769. Today, it's been turned into a free open-air museum with plenty of things about Mexican history and culture. Also be prepared to eat some Mexican cuisine, as there are Mexican restaurants dotted all around Old Town. With that, let's head off to our final stop of stop number 7. Our final stop brings us to Coronado Beach. Coronado Beach is commonly regarded as one of the best beaches in America. Known for its fine sand, mild surf, and year-round Mediterranean climate, it makes for a fantastic beach. Also, the sunsets are so beautiful here. Today's did not disappoint, as the sunset was reflected off the wet sand. It's also the site of the Hotel del Coronado, which is a famous beachfront property hosting many famous people over the years. Definitely check out Coronado Beach, as it's worth a visit in San Diego. You'll love it. With that, those are the top 7 things to do in San Diego, California. As you can see, it's a fantastic city to visit for your next vacation. If you liked this video, please hit the like button, and also hit the subscribe button, so that way you can see future videos like this. And now that you've seen the top 7 things to do in San Diego, California, check out this video where I take you on the 8 things to do in Miami, Florida.